what's going on, everybody? Hope everybody's having a fantastical day. I'm in downtown Temple, Texas, for a reason. Kinda. The events of September 11th, 2001. A lot of y'all probably weren't even born then, or too young to remember, but I definitely remember it. Hang around to hear this story. Well, you know what we got to do first. Of course, we got to mention this episode's famous woman I'd like to date. And I'm continuing with the country music theme. And I'm going to go with Carly Pearce. Carly Pearce. Oh, look at this beautiful woman right here. Look at Carly Pearce. Yeah. Me like the Carly Pearce. She is a bag full of hotness right there. Holy cow. Hot, 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 hot. Sings, obviously. Man, she is beautiful. Beautiful. Look at her. Holy cow. Me does like me some Carly Pearce. So, you know the deal. Carly, is that a... Let me go this way. Yep, that's what I thought I saw. A Cybertruck, and somebody done tagged it. Look at that crap. Oh, no, that's a wrap. Okay, I thought somebody screwed it up. Okay. Interesting. Here's our first ever parking garage. It's still not open, I don't think. Anyways, let's turn here. So, Carly Pearce, our first date will be at the range where I'll let you play with everything that I have that goes boom. I'll let you touch it all. Everything. You can fondle it if you will. Any way you want. Anyway, then I'm going to try to talk you into getting into my creepy van and going to a Forgotten Angels camp out. It's for charity, Carly. It's for charity. You will enjoy yourself. So anybody that knows anybody can get a hold of anybody that might know someone that can get a hold of anybody that might know someone that knows Carly Pearce. I'm available. My email is 9millson2wheels@gmail.com. And why is all this traffic? Email me and I will return your email. Hey, don't forget also to visit Forgotten Angels down in the description. Help them end foster care abuse. Get you a $25 raffle ticket and you could win a motorcycle. They give them away all the time for a $25 raffle ticket. Or sign up for harness. Harness, I think, is the best way. Harness rounds up that dollar amount that you purchase with your debit card and gives that rounded up amount to Forgotten Angels. It's a click it and forget it kind of thing, and you're automatically enrolled in all the giveaways. But more importantly, help them end foster care abuse. Also linked down in the description is a link to Shay Tree Surge's channel and Shay Lacey's channel. They will have the latest motorcycle to be given away. Check out my Patreon. If you can, join my Patreon. I'd much rather you give if you can't, I understand completely, but I'd much rather you give your money to Forgotten Angels. Do not put yourself in a hurt, doing that stuff. If you can't afford it, don't do it. Okay? Or if you can't afford but maybe one, do the Forgotten Angels. Alright? So, but my Patreon has 3 levels. It has pistol, rifle, and bazooka. For as little as $1 a month, you can help me out with my channel. You just name it, cameras. Yeah. A lot of you know that I was disabled for a while, and it was really hard for me to afford some of this stuff. It ain't too terrible now, but it sure does help. Okay? So, if you can, check out my Patreon. Also, I want to give y'all a heads up. See this place right here? That is the Temple Christian Outreach Thrift Store. I say things happen for a reason. I made the video about my life being cattywomper, all bunkers and everything, all kind of stuff happened because of that. It has pointed me in the direction of these fine folks right here. And look for a video to be coming. You're going to have to check this stuff out. It'll be out soon, hopefully. Oh, and I forgot to mention also, don't forget that the camp out is coming up in October, the end of October. I'll put the flyer right here. Check it out. Make plans to go. You're not going to want to miss this one. I'm telling you, it's going to be a ball. It's the 10th anniversary, and it just happens to be the 10th camp out. If I can learn how to talk. This is the way I want to go. Yeah, I think so. Let's go this way. I'm just cruising around downtown Temple because of I was in another downtown during the events, during the catastrophic events of September 11, 2001. I had taken a break from truck driving. Probably one of the only times, as a matter of fact, I'm pretty sure it was the only time that I wasn't doing something involving law enforcement. Matter of fact, I hadn't started doing that yet, law enforcement stuff. That's when I decided that I would go get my T-coats while I was at Slumber J working downtown Houston. Anybody in the oil business knows who Slumber J is. And I was working in downtown Houston at the pipe, or the mandrel plant, which is the pipes that go down into the ground to suck out all the oil. And it sucked. It was a dirty, hot job, but it was Monday. Look at this church. I love this church here. What are you doing? Oh my gosh. It was Monday through Friday and holidays off and stuff like that. So I was doing that and contemplating going and get my T-coats. Those of you that, probably in law enforcement in Texas know what a T-coats is. It's the Texas Educational Law Enforcement, I can't remember, standards and stuff like that. That's your law enforcement license, state law enforcement license. You know what, let's go straight. We'll go down into the historical anyway. The reason I was downtown Temple today is because I was in Houston. Like I said, working at a company named Slumber J. It's inside the loop of Houston. And doing my work, that day. And all of a sudden people started, moving around, and I could hear a buzz happening. And a guy comes up to me and said, "You hear what happened?" I said, no, what happened? He said, a plane flew into one of the towers in downtown New York, one of the Twin Towers. I said, really? So I grabbed me a quick break, and I went to the break room and had the TV on. Of course, the break room was dang near packed by then. And we were watching the first tower on fire. And then, watching that for a little bit, going, wow, this is not good. This is not good. So, of course, the foreman come in. Hey, everybody, get back to work. Well, it's in New York. We're here in Houston. Don't worry about it. Well, before we left the break room, the second plane hit the other tower. And that's when I said, hey, we're under attack. There are a couple people. This is not a coincidence that two planes, come in and hit each tower. Something's going on. So we went back to work. And every once in a while we go to the break room to check things out. Now, downtown Houston has the Chevron Tower. We got word that they were evacuating the Chevron Tower in downtown Houston. So, it was about maybe 30 more minutes, and they decided, because people were pulling their kids out of school and all kind of stuff, and they were shutting down schools right, left, backwards, and sideways. Not only did, after they decided to evacuate the Chevron Tower in downtown Houston, because it could be a it could have been a target, they decided, let's evacuate downtown Houston. So we were told to go home. And if you could imagine what it was like to be on the road with a bunch of people panicking, trying to get to their kids, to get them out of school, and everybody leaving downtown Houston at the same time. It was a cluster, let me tell you. Now, on the way home, I lived in a town called Alvin, A-L-V-I-N, at the time, just south of Houston, in between Houston and Galveston. And by the time I got home, the first tower had collapsed. Oop, I don't want to go that way. I was going to go that way. I'm going to go another way. And I didn't know it happened, you know. It didn't come across the news. I was listening to the news on the radio station. And it must have been in between me actually just getting out of my car at the house or something. And the first tower collapsed. And so I had to watch reruns of that, and I told the wife, wife number 2 was home. She was working at a department store, and they closed the department store too, and sent her home. So she was already home. So we're sitting there watching it on the TV, and I told her the second tower might collapse. That's a lot of heat. It might collapse too. And sure enough, here come the second tower collapsing. So now, I have been a firefighter before up to that point, and I hadn't done any law enforcement stuff. But I was like, wow, those buildings were full of firefighters. Oh man, I couldn't believe, I was like, wow, all of them firefighters and police, they were there too as well, right? And I can tell you this, there's all kind of, theories about how, everything happened and everything else, and conspiracy theories, let's put it that way. And let's go to the right. Oh, I forgot this kind of does this down here. So, all the conspiracy theories, I tell you what, I have talked to firefighters and police officers that were there during that stuff. So I don't buy all the conspiracy theories that they've done on purpose, all kind of stuff. But anyways, I actually I talked to one officer. It sucks. He lived through the events there in downtown New York City, and then to be fighting with years later, be fighting with a knucklehead, and he got his knee folded the wrong way, ended his career. He said, I made it through 9/11, all the events there, and being downtown and all that stuff, and then my knee goes out wrestling with a motard. This is the Temple Police Department right here. That's their new building. Am I going the wrong way? No, I'm not. Okay. That's kind of nice, man. I like it. Police vehicles only. Oh, you know what? I might be going. No, I'm not. Okay. I didn't see. Yeah, I'm good. I was like, dang, there's a cop right there, and I might be going the wrong way, but it looked like for a second. But I didn't. Okay. So, the events, like I said, I'm getting all mixed up here. Sorry about it. So I went home, and the wife was there, wife number 2. We watched the other building collapse, and then they started getting word about the Pentagon and all that stuff. Ooh, oh, he does have a stop sign. No, he don't. being hit. So that started happening. We're just sitting there in shock. If you haven't seen video from that, if you're too young, you need to look it up. I mentioned it in my Get Home Bag video about watching the streets crowded with millions of people having to walk home in New York City because everything shut down. They just had to walk home. And if you ain't prepared for something like that, you might be in for a shock if it ever happens. Or, I mean, natural disasters can happen. Anything like that, you know, you got to be prepared for it. I'm telling you. But anyways, so we're watching all this stuff. And I found out my kids have been, you know, taken out of school. I called the first wife. And they are all good to go, and everybody was home and all that stuff. So I was checking on that. But just to sit there and watch this happening live on the TV was just shocking. Absolutely shocking. Of course, then the plane crashed in the field there in Pennsylvania next. And it just kept on going. We're thinking, wow, is this ever going to stop? They are absolutely attacking us. This is, you know, bad. And I don't know. I just wondering. I know today is the 12th, the day after the events of, you know, the day after 9/11. But I put my videos out on Friday. You know. But I just wondering, what were you doing September 11th, 2001? Maybe give me a quick little thing down in the comments saying what you were doing and how it affected you. Or even, you know, I wasn't born yet, or I was like 3 years old, or whatever. Had no idea what was going on. If you haven't, like I said, if you haven't watched any of that stuff, you really need to go research the events of 9/11 and watch that stuff. It is shocking what happened that day. But that got me thinking, you know, reminded me of what I was doing that day, and just the shock of the day. Yeah, leave a comment if you would. Let me know what you were doing that day, if you were around or whatever. That's gonna be it. And just one of them videos. So, you know how it goes. Like I said, be sure to share this video. Share it nationwide, worldwide. That's for sure. That helps give that middle finger to YouTube's algorithm. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. It's just a way to get notified whenever I put up a video. It don't cost you a thing. Be sure to definitely visit everybody down in the description. Also, you'll see my Patreon down in the description. If they have something like a social media page or that they want me to post, there's a link down there in the description. Of course, you always get your name at the end of my full videos. I just can't. My brain keeps flipping back to 9/11. Kind of hard to, you know, concentrate especially when you're old enough to see that stuff happening live on the news. All right, y'all know how it goes. If you served or if you're currently serving in the military, if you're a firefighter, EMS, first responder, especially law enforcement, if you're in the healthcare industry, if you're a truck driver out there delivering the goods so we can have a good life, if you vote, stand up for your rights, you're awesome. We appreciate everything you do for us and the sacrifices you and your families have made. Be safe out there. Carry things that go boom. And of course, ladies, flash a stranger today.